So I've worked retail now for a few years at the same place. There's been a customer since I started named Jason. Jason is a tall, bulky man with scraggly hair who cross-dresses in his spare time. Okay, fine. I'm open-minded, and he's certainly not our only cross-dresser. The difference is that Jason likes to talk with our employees, all of whom are female. Like he really likes to talk to us. In the beginning, I thought it was just sort of sad, and that he was very lonely. As the years went on, a few things seemed off about Jason. One night, he came in later in the evening and begged my co-worker and me not to go out into that dark alley to take the garbage out. I mean, fair enough. Taking the garbage out does require walking down an alley and isn't necessarily totally safe, but it's a nice part of town, and the worst thing out there is usually middle-class 15-year-olds smoking pot. But then he said, and I quote, "Who knows what might happen to you? You could be raped or mugged or killed." Everything he says is monotone, with a completely deadpan blank look. My co-worker and I are a little creeped out, and he's the only other person in the store with us, so we assure him we won't take the garbage out just so he'll leave us alone. He keeps chatting with us and keeps using the phrase, "You could be raped or mugged or killed," in reference to us going outside. Eventually, we convince him we won't go outside, and he leaves. I turn to my co-worker and say, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if he were out there waiting by the dumpster to catch us disobeying him, and I don't want to know what'll happen if he catches us. We didn't take the garbage out. Fast forward 3 years, he's still a customer who comes in from time to time. He comes in and waves me over. Knowing he likes to be chatty, I try to stay very formal and professional. He shows me his phone, and it's him, from the waist down, in fishnet stockings, a leather skirt, and tall boots. As he starts scrolling through his photos, I'm afraid that these pictures are going to turn sexual, so I simply compliment the boots, which he informs me are from a sex shop. He asks if I ever go there. I say I've never heard of it and bail the hell out of that conversation. Then a couple of days ago, he came in on another evening shift where it was just myself and a coworker. This coworker is somewhat conservative and refuses to work with Jason on account of his cross-dressing. That left me. Since he was again the only customer in the store, I had no excuse to get away from him. He chatted to me about how he has girlfriends in foreign countries and how he has control over them financially. He told me about how he keeps them in line using money and likes the culture because the women are submissive. I'm getting seriously creeped out by the inappropriate turn the conversation has taken. Also, a little scared because he won't take his hands out of his pockets, and I'm afraid he'll either pull out a weapon or is doing God knows what else in there. While he's telling me all these stories of his dominance over women, he never breaks eye contact or changes the deadpan expression on his face. Everything is monotone. I'm a bit frightened at this point. I look around for my coworker and try to telepathically tell her to come get me out of this conversation. She doesn't come near us. He then said that he considers myself and my coworkers his best friends in the world, and that he wishes he could keep us forever and ever and ever. Now I'm pretty sure my eyes got pretty big, but I tried to play it casual and professional and just say that we're glad he likes to shop with us, etc. But at this point, I was quite concerned that I was in danger, if not immediately, at some point in the future. I told my manager about this, and she agreed it was extremely creepy, but wasn't sure what to do about it. He did nothing illegal that we can report to police. Having him banned from the store will piss him off, and as it is, he's creepy and likes us. We don't want him to remain creepy and start disliking us. Every time he enters the store now, I try to stay near the back section so I can make a quick getaway if he decides to pull out a gun and just start mowing us down. He's very much the type who seems capable of committing such a terrible act. Mentally unbalanced, for sure. Likely mentally ill, very unhappy and lonely. Dominance issues, no boundaries. I'm kind of scared at my job now. Two years ago, I was working at my old job as a cashier at a grocery store. I was really friendly to all my customers and most of them loved me. Well, one night I was working late, around 9 p.m., but the store was still decently packed. I had a big line of customers and was smiling and being nice to all of them when this man appeared next in line. He was roughly 5'10" with shoulder-length black greasy hair that was under a cap, a long green jacket, and an old black backpack slung over one shoulder. His face was extremely pale, and he had big black glasses that kept sliding down. As soon as he came up to ring out his items, something felt wrong. However, me being the silly person I am, just smiled at him and was polite. Big mistake. He responded to nothing that I said. He just gave me this creepy dead-eyed stare and wouldn't take his eyes off of me, even while paying for his food with his card. I was totally creeped out, but I kept smiling and told him to have a nice night. After he left, I felt a lot better, and the people after him were very sweet and non-creepy. Fast forward an hour, I look up and I see him. He was standing by the exit of the store just staring at me, not moving. I stop what I'm doing for a second and just stare back in shock. I don't say anything to my supervisor or my bagger. I just freeze and stare back. However, my customer snaps me out of it by asking me a question, and I look away to help them out. And when I look back, he is gone. I'm a little unnerved at this point, but I shrug it off and go back to work. Fast forward another 30 minutes. It's almost time to leave, and I'm looking forward to going home and relaxing when I feel like someone besides my customers is watching me. I look around, and I see nothing, but I still feel like someone is watching me. So I look behind me, and there he is, standing in the second exit right behind me, just staring. I tell my bagger, who shrugs it off. When I look back, he is gone again. Now I am definitely creeped out. So I tell my supervisor since I am leaving in 30 minutes, and she tells me one of the guys will walk me to the car. Fast forward another 30 minutes. It's time to go, and I'm walking out with one of the cart guys. I start telling him about the creepy guy I saw, and he goes, "Oh yeah, that guy." I look at him in confusion, and he tells me that this guy has been hanging out in the parking lot for the last hour and a half, just watching the store and not moving. He said he thought he was weird, but he didn't think twice about it, and that the guy suddenly got up and ran away 5 to 10 minutes ago. The whole ride home, I kept checking my rearview mirror to see if anyone was following me, but I never saw that guy again. So I'm a 20-year-old girl, and it's like I'm just straight-up creepy old man bait. I don't go shopping alone often because it makes me uneasy being stared at, so I usually go with my boyfriend just to make me feel better. On this occasion, though, he was at work. Desperately needing some snacks, I headed out to my local Kroger, a relatively large grocery store nearest to my house. This particular Kroger is arranged awfully, so I usually end up doubling back because I don't realize I missed something. Because of that, it makes it really obvious if someone is following you. I started on the left end of the store, just picking up some fruit, when I noticed this very old man in overalls staring at me. Not thinking much of it, I just smiled politely and walked past him. After a couple of minutes of shopping and looking around, I noticed this man is still pretty close, but he hasn't picked up any additional groceries. So I get a little uneasy and just walk away to the other end of the store to get some ice cream. Now I'm stopped looking at the ice cream for a while because there are so many options. After looking, creepo comes over and starts staring at the ice cream directly next to me. At that moment, I decided I didn't need ice cream, and I was done shopping. Mind you, the old man, after staring at the ice cream with me for 5 minutes, did not get any. From there, I booked it around the corner and ran all the way to the end of the aisle, took a sharp turn, and hurried to check out. I got in line and then offered a random person about to check out the spot behind me. I figured this would give me some time. Believe it or not, the old man comes to check out and stands behind the person behind me. I started quietly talking to ladies checking me out and asked them to take a very long time on the old man because he had been following me the whole time. They just laughed it off like I was some dumb teenager and said, "Yeah, that's old men for you," when I was genuinely worried for my safety. At this point, I'm sure you're all thinking, call the cops. Yeah, that's what my dad said too, but I just didn't think about that in the moment. After checking out, I ran to my car and started putting away my groceries as fast as possible. I had an entire cart full to put away. I finally got my groceries in my car, and since I was eyeing the door the whole time, I saw the old man come out of the doors and beeline for me. I slammed the trunk of my car, and he was waiting for me at the driver's door. I locked the car and ran across the parking lot while calling my boyfriend to see what to do. I'm crying trying to get a hold of him, but he's at work, so of course he doesn't see me call. At this point, I'm hiding behind a Kia Soul hoping this old man will walk towards me so I can run back to my car. He does, so I jump at the opportunity, and I'm unlocking my car as I run. I jump in the driver's seat and zoom home. He watched me drive away while standing in front of his stupid little red sedan that was on the other side of the parking lot from where I was parked and where he was stalking me from. I took tons of back roads home to make sure I wasn't followed.